pulling it out. No.
I can't believe you just broke it.
Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, and...
Hi everyone, Trish Velasquez here. How are you doing today? Welcome to another episode of the Trish Train. I'm very excited to have some very special guests in the house today. I have two people here. As you can see, I have my very dear friend Patty Fiore and Kevin Freeland. And I'm so excited that you guys are here. Thank you so much for taking the time to come and join us today. I am elated that you were able to make it, and thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule because I know you are so busy. So I'd like to start with you, Patty. Man, we've known each other for a really long time.
Yes, has been a long time. I don't want to say the number because it's kind of scary.
We're not saying any kind of numbers here because we don't want you guys to catch on to what the real age is. Because if we tell you the age, we have to kill you. So that's not a good thing. But anyways, you know, Patty spent her about 25 years in the corporate world, and she specializes in law and contracts. She loves working out and leading a healthy lifestyle. She walks 5 to 7 miles a day. She goes to Body Focus Fitness and Performance. That's Kevin's place, and we're going to get to that. And she does about 3 times a week with Kevin. She comes to spin at Cycle Bar. She's kind of a crazy like me. You know, you can tell she's been following me around. So a couple of times a week, she comes and spins at Cycle Bar. So she gets her walking in with her dogs, her friend. She gets some friend time, and they walk like 6 or 7 dogs, and then she gets her weight training in with Kevin. She gets her cardio in with me doing her spin. Sometimes she goes to Sumit's Yoga. Hey, Sumit's Yoga, everybody at Sumit's Yoga Chandler, and gets her stretch on, right? And man, I want to know, Patty, like, how do you do it? How do you fit it all in? Because you know you're a corporate woman. You've dedicated your whole entire life. Let's back up and go like, okay, how did you get started? How did we meet? You started at Motorola, maybe 1989 when we met?
88, that's right, very close. Yes, so I grew up with a joy of activities, and I was a hyperactive kid.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Right. I think my parents were always trying to channel me into something, you know, whether it was gymnastics, dance, cheerleading, pogo sticks, skateboarding, everything.
Just go with her.
Right. Just get out of the house and burn off that energy. And I think that was a foreshadowing of my type A personality that, you know, has come through in my life. Yeah, very similar. So I grew up very active, and then I went to college, and I always had a very tall, skinny, what I'll call olive oil style body, and I was never happy with it.
For those of you who are 15 years old or younger, that was a cartoon from the Dark Ages called Popeye, and there was this really skinny girl called Olive Oil, and you know that's the reference. You know, she just had that real thin body type.
Right, and being so tall, always the tallest kid in class, the skinniest. It led to some names.
Oh, so you're saying you were bullied because of your body type?
I don't know about bullied, but you know, just like
nowadays
olive oil.
Everybody cries,
you know, that's
and they
not
go,
so
oh,
bad.
it's
I'm not
bullying.
calling that bullying. But
Yeah,
anyway,
but they kind of teased you.
But it was always on my mind, and so
You were self-conscious.
after college, when I thought, well, I have some time now, I'm going to start focusing on, you know, having a better body, building up. So I decided to work with a personal trainer, and lucky for me, Trish was working at this location, and we were paired together. And for me, it was sort of, I don't know, love at first sight in a friend way, because I finally saw another skinny girl who actually had some shape and muscles to her, and I thought, there's hope for me.
Oh,
And
really?
yes. So you were immediately my hero and role model.
Wow,
Yes.
I didn't even know that.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. You gave me hope that I could, you know, change a little
You know,
bit.
because like Patty, I mean, I grew up really quote-unquote hyperactive-ish. So my parents had me in every single activity imaginable. And I wasn't tumbling and baton twirling and, you know, cheerleading, gymnastics,
Yes.
ballet, tap,
all of it.
jazz.
Yes.
You know, I was in not only
Yeah.
that, but on top of it, I would go to jazzercise with my mom.
Oh,
Yeah, my mom
okay.
taught fitness as well. So where do I get it from? I don't know. But anyhow, yeah, I mean, just like they were just trying to channel that energy.
Totally.
So we were really used to a very
Right.
high level of activity from a very young age.
Right, right.
Yeah, so then you started lifting weights. You met Trish, and
I met
you
Trish
said,
and my
"Hey."
life changed. And you introduced me to, you have to make fitness and health a priority in your life. And so for me, I had my career, but I needed to find a way to bring that in. So it was either before work or after work or nights or weekends. And you really probably directed me in that direction. Maybe I would have found it on my own, but I give you credit for that.
Oh, well, that's good. Now, Patty was my very first client that I was mortified to train, because she's absolutely stunning.
Aww.
She's so smart, she's articulate, and she's just fabulous in every way. I can't say enough about her. And I was intimidated, actually.
Oh.
And because Patty, Patty doesn't play. Okay? Patty, when she pays for something, she wants what she pays for. And, I got that vibe from her that she was really serious, so I was trying to do my best, to give her exactly what she wanted. And hopefully...
You did.
You got that.
So we were intimidated by each other, but it all worked out.
It all worked out.
Right. And I think after you left there, I left there shortly after that training location, and I think we both went about our lives. I actually went back to school, and you got married and had lots of babies. I had pets. I had dogs.
So, yeah, here's what happened. Okay, I graduated eventually from college, right? And Patty and I decided to go our separate ways just because...
Just circumstances.
Circumstances, right? And so we spent a few years where we didn't talk
Right,
or
we
anything.
didn't see
We didn't
each
really
other.
have any contact. And then after... Okay, I had 2.5 babies. Okay, 2 because I had the twins. And then when I moved back here in 2002...
Okay.
I was pregnant with Alex.
Yes.
And so then that's when I decided, of course I wasn't busy enough with twins and pregnant. I wasn't busy enough, so I still wanted to do fitness. So then I came back to the studio.
That's right. And that's where we met. And I think at that point you may have introduced me. You were running a lot at that point.
Yeah, I was doing 10Ks, half marathons, and 5Ks. That was my thing at the time.
So I think you planted that seed with me also.
I did.
Yeah.
The influences.
Right. So I thought, I'm getting older. I need to start, beefing up my cardio. And so I started running also, and I did, 5Ks, which I thought, oh, it's such a big deal, and then 10Ks, and then into half marathons. And I'm not sure if Trish remembers this, but she was, it had to have been nearly 9 months pregnant, and we both ran the same half marathon in Phoenix, and a very pregnant Trish finished faster than me.
Man, is that something, we were just talking about this right before we got started, and I don't remember this, but now that she's kind of mentioned, it's kind of coming back. But, here I thought, I don't know, I will always try to be encouraging, right? So I wasn't really thinking I'm pregnant and I'm going to run a half marathon. I just was going to run a half marathon. The pregnancy was of no consequence. I was just going about my business, the Trish systems,
Right.
business as usual.
Yeah. For me, I was thinking, oh, maybe I could run faster than her now. But that didn't really pan out.
Yeah, it's interesting. So over time, you learned about weight training.
Weight training?
And then, everyone starts out with me and I always say, let's take some baby steps as far as trying something new. And I like to incorporate this cardio. And a lot of people are afraid of running. And, they don't really know how to get started. So we just started doing baby steps. And that's why I say, you just start slow and then progress.
Right.
You don't try to run a full marathon in the first couple of weeks you start running. You have to have a progression. So that's what happened with you. So eventually you got good enough to where you could go a whole 13.1 miles.
Right. I actually ended up doing 12 half marathons in 1 year.
See, now she has me beat up.
I had to.
Just go ahead and throw that in, okay? Because I've only done 3 or 4, something like that. Now the brain is going.
Yeah,
but
right.
anyhow,
Right.
12 half marathons later, when this person never ran before.
Right.
And I'm always trying to convince people too, just start running, and people are always against it. They're like, no.
I get that. Because it seems so intense, and how do you make time for it? And in Arizona, in the summer, how are you possibly?
It's the greatest place on earth to run.
This means up at 3:00 in the morning to train for a marathon in Arizona.
Yes. Did you get to the marathon point?
No, I trained for, but never ran one. I kept getting injured. I have a long, lanky body. It's not that sturdy for long distances.
Yeah, right. I mean, there definitely
Right,
is a body type for
that's
runners.
better.
You know, as far as muscle type, and usually, those runners are the small type people,
Right.
and they have these tiny little bodies, and they can go for miles and miles and miles and miles, and nothing happens to them. Like, they don't even feel it.
So I trained up to 21 miles, but never actually consummated a marathon. Yeah, and I had injuries.
People, really, if you want to know the honest truth, I'm bored after 9 miles.
It's true. The mind wanders.
Yeah, after 9 miles, I'm out. Okay, I'm not trying to do 26 miles
Right.
or however many miles. Okay, I'm good with 13.1.
Right.
And then what happened after that? So right around 2003-ish. I had Alex, so I had the third child. He came out, right? And then you met Kevin?
I started
Right
with
around
Kevin
there?
in
2006.
2006. Okay. Yeah, because we're coming up on our 10 years.
Right, so I'll go ahead and introduce Kevin kind of in the middle of the story because we're going to bring it all together. So Kevin has a business, and it's called Body Focus Fitness and Performance. Kevin Freeland, well, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Now, your specialty, let me go down the list here, everybody. He has a USA Weightlifting Level 1 Sports Performance Coach. He is an NHE Certified Level 3 Master Trainer. He's CrossFit Certified Level 1 Kettlebell Instructor. He's a medical exercise specialist, and he's the creator of the Functional Cross Training FXT system. He has experience in basketball, football, track and field, all conference honors, and he did a little bit of gymnastics, and he might want to tell you about why he did that. He's a graduate of the U of A. He's also very smart, by the way. It's not just all athleticism over here, people. We're talking about some smart people here. Microbiology. Okay, I barely got through biology. Okay, he played football, power lifter, bodybuilder. Now he goes into a 40-hour work week, right? And you started taking on some clients.
I did.
And then you got ISSA certified in 2003.
Yep. Actually, it's really started as a conversation I had with my wife after being on the phone for a couple of hours with a friend of mine who he was asking me what should his son do to get prepared for his next football season. And so 2 hours later, I hang up the phone, and my wife casually says, you should do that for a living. And that is actually where this started.
Oh.
I hadn't really considered it up to that point.
Creds to the wife here. Okay, if you're out there listening, it's all about you, baby. You made him.
It was a hobby up until that point, and I thought, well, the market is changing. It might be a possibility. At least do it on the side. I figured I would do it part-time in conjunction with the job that I had at the time. I went and looked at certifications. I picked the ISSA, got through my first certification, and took on a few clients. And from there, it really just kind of took off. I was going actually in-home at that time. Go to people's homes, put them through a program.
So you had like a mobile training
Had a mobile
system,
business,
right?
yeah.
So you would go house to house. It was like
Yeah.
a doctor's visit, but you had your own personal trainer come to you. And by the way, back in the day, there weren't a lot of people doing that.
True.
Yeah.
So there was the guy that we started with.
Yes.
He did it. And then little by little, a few people started catching on. Now it's big. I mean, still, if you have the money, you can have a trainer come to you. Really. There's still that business out there. There's the people who want that. They don't want to go anywhere, and they have an in-home gym. They have beautiful multi-million-dollar homes. And there's still trainers that go and do that. So that's how you started. You started traveling around?
Started traveling around, yeah. And I had a few clients. I had my schedule pretty much full. I worked 40 hours during the day, and in the evenings I would go to my appointments. On the way to an appointment one day, I got in a car accident. Totaled the car and thought, well, maybe I don't want to spend as much time in traffic on a daily basis. Started looking for a location, and found